Welcome to the session. Today I am explaining the principles of inheritance and variation. This comes under second PUC syllabus under the unit 6th and chapter is 5th. Now we have to know certain meanings or some terminologies before entering into the specific field of genetics. Particularly under this chapter, we have to start with the Mendelian work or Mendelism. In order to understand the principles of inheritance and variation, it is essential for any student to know the definitions of certain terminologies. Now let us go one by one. First one is, what is genetics? Genetics is the study of heredity and variation. Or simply we can define heredity, the genetics deals with the study of genes. Now, what do you mean by heredity or in other words inheritance? Heredity is the transmission of characters from parents to offsprings. Anuvamshiyate. Because of this transmission of the characters from parents to offsprings, the children or the offsprings resemble their parents. Then, what do you mean by variation? No two individuals of a species remain same, or no two individuals are alike. This is because of the fact that there is variation. If you observe the children of the same parents, on one hand you can observe certain similarities. On the other hand, there are certain dissimilarities. The similarities are due to heredity and dissimilarities are due to variation. The variation is of two types. One is hereditary variation and environmental variation. Hereditary variation is a permanent, the genetical variation or genetical changes which are transmitted from parents to offsprings. That is hereditary variation. The variation which is genetical and transmitted from parents to offsprings is supposed to be called as what? Hereditary variation. Then environmental variation. The term itself indicates that it is the variation which is acquired by an individual during its lifetime due to the influence of environment. It may or may not be genetical. So it may become a temporary one or a permanent one. But hereditary is what? A permanent genetical variation. But this variation which is caused due to the influence of environment may be or may not be genetical. Then, what do you mean by a gene or a factor? The factor was the term used by Mendel for the first time when he was not aware of the term, the gene. Of course, the term gene was coined by Johnson. What do you mean by a gene? The simple definition of a gene is, it is a character determiner or it is a segment of DNA composed of few to many nucleotides, or it may be even defined as hereditary unit. Remember, chromosomes are hereditary vehicles, whereas the genes are the hereditary units. Thereby, we can give three definitions for a gene. One, it is a segment of DNA composed of few to many nucleotides, or it is a character determiner, or it is an hereditary unit found on the chromosomes. The position where gene lies on a chromosome is called locus. That is the definition of a gene. Now, what do you mean by allele? The simple definition is alternative form of a gene, or a pair of genes controlling a pair of contrasting characters. So, contrasting characters in the sense, a single character is expressed in one or different forms. So, that is contrasting character. Expression of a single character in different ways. Say for example, capital T for tallness, and then small t for darkness. These are only the genes, not alleles, because here capital T controls what? The tallness. Small t controls darkness. Thereby they are not alleles. But capital T and small t are what? The alleles. Because here the capital T controls what? Tallness. Whereas small t controls the darkness. So observe here, a single character, that is regarding height of the plant, is expressed in two ways. That is one, the taller variety, and the another is dwarfer variety. That means a single character is expressed in the many forms or in different ways. That is the allele. Now, what is said to be the true breeding line? True breeding line in the sense, if at all the plants are self-pollinated for several generations like that, still it maintains the stable trait or stable character through generations due to inheritance is said to be the true breeding line. That means, if at all the individuals are subjected to self-pollination through number of generations, if at all a stable character or a trait is retained through generations by inheritance, is said to be the true breeding line. The next is phenotype. Phenotype means it is the external appearance of an individual. That is the phenotype. Then, for example, the plant which show tallness, so externally is the phenotype. What is genotype? Genotype is the genetic constituent of an individual or genetic makeup of an individual. For example, as I told you earlier, in a pea plant, some are tall and some are tall. The one which appear to be tall externally is phenotype. But for that tallness, which are responsible? The genes or the factors are responsible. Say for example, capital T or capital T small t, these are what? The genes which are responsible for the tallness. This genetic makeup or genetic constituent of an individual is called what? The genotype. Next is differences between homozygous and heterozygous individual. What do you mean by this? Homozygous and heterozygous individual. The term itself indicates that homo means similar, hetero means different. If a character of an individual is controlled by two similar factors or two similar genes, then it is called homozygous. If a character of an individual is controlled by two dissimilar factors, then it is called heterozygous. Now let us study these two, that is homo and heterozygous, in the comparative manner. For example, this is homozygous and this one is heterozygous individual. First of all, we have to write what? The definition for each. Homozygous means if a character of an individual is controlled by two similar factors, then it is called homozygous. For example, capital T, T for tallness and small t for dwarfness. Heterozygous, if a character of an individual is controlled by two dissimilar factors, then it is called heterozygous. For example, capital T, small t, control tallness. This is the heterozygous individual and this is homozygous. The next one is homozygous individual produce only one type of gamete for a character. For example, this capital T for tallness produce only one type of gamete by name, the capital T. Whereas small t for dwarfness produce how many types of the gametes? That also produce only one type, that is small t. That means homozygous individual produces only one type of gamete for a character, whereas heterozygous individual produces two types of the gametes for a character. For example, capital T small t is an heterozygous individual for what? The tallness. It produces two types of gametes, that is capital T and small t. This is the one. And the third difference is homozygous is not an hybrid. It is not an hybrid, but this is what? An hybrid. These are the differences. What do you mean by an hybrid? Hybrid is an individual obtained by a cross between two homozygous individuals which differ in character. That is said to be an hybrid. So hybrid is an individual obtained by a cross between two homozygous individuals differing in at least one character. Say for example, if we cross capital T and capital T for tallness and small t for dwarfness, you are going to get what? Capital T small t. That means this is an hybrid. Hybrid is always what? An heterozygous individual, not homozygous individual. You will not get an hybrid whenever you cross between capital T tall plants. If at all both are homozygous tall plant, you will not get what? Hybrid. If at all both the parents are homozygous, the dwarf, you will not get an hybrid. But if you cross the two homozygous individuals which are differing in at least one character, then you are going to get what? An hybrid. That means hybrid is an heterozygous individual obtained by a cross between two homozygous parents differing at least in one character. That is the one. Now, after knowing this, now let us know about what is dominant and the recessive. The dominant is the one which is expressed both in homozygous and heterozygous condition. Say for example, capital T for what? Tallness. Tall is supposed to be the dominant character over dwarf, which is recessive. This is the homozygous tall plant and is dominant. And again, you observe this one. Capital T, small t is also for what? Tallness. Here, there is a factor for what? Dwarfness. But still, the dwarf character is not expressed. Why? This is because of the fact that the factor for tallness is dominant over what? The factor for dwarfness, thereby the dwarf character is what? Suppressed or not expressed. That is the dominant. What is recessive? The recessive character or the recessive the nature is expressed only in homozygous condition, not in heterozygous condition. Or in other words, we can say that the recessive character is expressed only in the absence of what? The factor for dominant. For example, the small tt is for what? Dwarfness. This is for dwarfness. And the dwarf is the recessive character when compared to tall. It is expressed only in this homozygous condition. Suppose it is in heterozygous condition, the dwarf character is not what? Expressed. Because of what? Because of the presence of the dominant factor for tallness, which suppress the expression of what? The dwarfness. That is what is called the recessiveness or the recessive character. Next is emasculation. Emasculation means nothing but removal of anthers of a flower. Emasculation, removal, masculine, male gender. So that means in a plant, the male part is supposed to be the anther. So the stamen contain anther. Anther contain what? Pollen grains. If you remove the anther of a flower, naturally the male part is removed. That is emasculation. Simply we can say emasculation is nothing but the removal of anther from a flower. So this is usually done to prevent what? Self-pollination in a plant. So hybrid, I already explained about the hybrid, which is an heterozygous individual obtained by a cross between two homozygous parents differing at least in one character. That is hybrid. Now let us know who is the father of genetics. Remember, we cannot study the genetics without remembering the father of genetics, who is called Gregor John Mendel. So Gregor John Mendel, his period was between 1822 to 1884. Without remembering him, we cannot study the genetics. He was the founder of what? The genetics. He was a monk, of course. He studied basically the physics and the maths. But later on, whenever he became the teacher as a monk, he developed what? The interest regarding the nature. And by observing a pea plant which was grown around ashram where he was, he gradually developed interest regarding the study of the genetics with reference to what? The pea plant, common pea plant by name Pisum sativum. So this we are going to study later in detail. So thereby here the father of genetics means Gregor John Mendel. Father of modern genetics. Father of modern genetics, Bateson is the father of modern genetics. Father of experimental genetics. So T.H. Morgan, a Nobel laureate, he studied the many experiments on Drosophila melanogaster. Hence, he rightly called as what? Father of experimental genetics. Rediscoverers of Mendelism or Mendel's work. Remember, Mendel worked extensively on what? The pea plant. And ultimately, he published his findings in the annuals. So, in the year 1866, but it had limited circulation. As the result of it, it failed to attract the attention of any scientist of those days. Hence, his work was not came into the public. Later, of course, he died in the year 1884 before his work was noticed by the world. Later, the three European scientists by name Hugo de Vries of Holland, Correns of Germany, Tessermark of Austria, so worked independently and they submitted their report and in the year 1900. But the work what they did was already done by who? Mendel. Hence, these three scientists were named as what? Rediscoverers of Mendelism. They were the scientists who brought the work of the Mendel to the world. It was lightened only in the year 1900. That means after nearly 16 years after the death of Mendel, his work was noticed by each and everyone through these three, the European scientists. Then, how many characters were observed by Mendel in a pea plant? Pea plant, scientifically it is called Pisum sativum. This is the botanical name, sativum. Botanical name of a pea plant. How many contrasting characters were observed by Mendel? Nearly 36 pairs of the contrasting characters were observed by Mendel in a pea plant. But selected how many characters for his experiment? He selected only the 7 pairs of contrasting characters. Because if we take all the 36 pairs of the contrasting characters, the work is supposed to be laborious and the results what find is unable to compare among the similarities and the dissimilarities like that. Probably in order to lessen the burden, he considered only the 7 pairs of contrasting characters. Which are the 7 pairs of the contrasting characters he considered for his experiments? So this can be listed like this. Here the serial number and the character, the dominant character, recessive character like that. Regarding the height of the plant, one is tall and the another is dwarf. Of course, whatever I have written in this column, they are all dominant characters over these recessive characters. Seed shape, one is said to be the round or spherical and another is wrinkled like this. Then seed color, yellow and then green. Pod shape, pod in the sense seed case or seed purse. Don't confuse it for the seed coat, which is the seed case or seed purse. That means this is the pod. The pod shape inflated, that is smooth and then constricted like this. This is the inflated or smooth and this is constricted, in which there you find what? The seeds. Pod color, green, yellow. Flower position, axillary means this is the axillary or the lateral and this is apical or terminal like that. That is the flower position. And lastly flower color, violet and white. These are the 7 pairs of the contrasting characters what he selected for his experiments, though he observed what? The 36 pairs of the contrasting characters in the pea plant. So in the next class I will take up the Mendelian work in detail with reference to monohybrid cross and the dihybrid cross. So thank you, Ananda.